updates with Israel and Donald J. Trump and the Iran war. Excuse me. And possibly we'll be having some people call in as well, and we'll be having some debates. Earlier, we had an immigration debate. And the individual that we debated was from Canada, one of the big three countries that are getting invaded by mass amounts of illegal alien immigrants. They're the only G7 nation that is in a recession right now. But for some reason, they keep telling you and they keep telling you and they keep telling you that illegal alien immigrants are a beneficial thing for their country and their economy. What up, Prince Shiloh? How you doing, brother? I hope everyone else out there knows, Prince Shiloh, that illegal alien immigrants are not a net negative, but legal immigrants are. When you get a chance, can I get a summary catch up? Okay, we did 2 live streams this morning. I'll give you a quick summary catch up for everyone out there that wasn't here this morning. We gave a quick summary catch up. We tried to deliver every fact after fact after fact after fact after fact, and these individuals refused to hear us out. They wouldn't even let us talk. They kept talking over us. See, the strategy they do is they like to talk over you, and then they'll tell you that you're talking over them. No, I called them out this time. I already caught them. When they started doing it, when they started talking over me, I said, nope, we're not doing this again. You're not going to talk over me. And I understand why people that are young, 18, 19, 20 years old, would be a little bit more liberal, especially when they're in college and they're under their parents' roof and whatnot. I 100% understand why they'd be a little bit more liberal. That's fantastic, man. I can't wait to set up a debate with the guy. What should I know about him? Tell me what I should know. What should I know, brother? Well, we got 7 people in here. That means we should have at least 7 likes, guys. Come on. But what's up with the guy who's going to reach out to me? Mass amnesty is not good at all. I mean, even we have the reports from the government. The DHS even posted it earlier. We pulled it up here. If you want to go quickly look at it, we can. They basically said that they cost us an average $8,777 per illegal alien immigrant. That's what it said. It said it cost $8,778 per illegal alien immigrant per year that they're in this country. So that's really a net negative, and that's straight from our DHS. That's straight from our Homeland Security. They posted that on their Twitter, bro. Like, if you don't believe our government reports, remember, this is the same DHS that Barack Hussein Obama had. This is the same DHS that Joe Biden had. Actually, that part isn't true. It's not the same DHS as Joe Biden had. We recently just got Tom Homan back in the power, but Tom Homan worked for Joe Biden. So or not Joe Biden, sorry, Obama. So that's the same Homeland Security we had under Obama. That's the same exact thing. What's this about the Israel flag? Well, this video. So Donald J. Trump basically has been arguing back and forth with Israel. If you guys haven't heard the news this morning or this afternoon, the news is that we are no longer signing the peace deal today. Donald J. Trump is no longer signing the peace deal. I believe J.D. Vance went on television and he started screaming at the top of his lungs, we're not going to do this with Israel. We're not going to, they're getting mad at Israel. And this is exactly what the Nick Fuentes out there or the ultra right wing people would have wanted. Now, I'm not saying this is a 3D chess move by Donald J. Trump, but he is, it's kind of hard to argue that Israel is controlling Donald Trump when the Trump administration is directly fighting against the Israeli government. I mean, they admitted it. They said it on television. The only person that wanted to work with America out of the Israeli government is Benjamin Netanyahu. That's why the Israeli government wants to get rid of Benjamin Netanyahu. That way they don't have people that are intertwined with America. It has nothing to do with the hatreds towards Israel. It has nothing to do with anti-Semitism or anything like that. It's all about the Iranian deal. It's just all about peace negotiations and their lack of helping. And not to mention, we're really the only major ally. I mean, this is what JD Vance said himself. JD Vance said, we're Israel's only major ally right now. Why would they want to mess with us? Why would they want to screw us over? Why would they want us to do us like that? Like their last ally. Their last ally. What game is playing? I know the strait is closed back. We're probably going to be getting back bombing. But I don't give a damn because guess what? Donald J. Trump, our military, we have power to get the ships through there. So the reason that the strait is closed and we still have oil at $85 a barrel is because Donald J. Trump snuck about 80 ships through the strait at the middle of the night. So you guys really ain't going to be able to get over on the American military. We're going to wait until it's pitch black. We won't bomb. Trump wants it over. Yeah, I heard the peace negotiation. It's not off the table, but we're not having a signing today because Iran refuses to participate in the signing. Joe Biden, 2028. I hope Joe Biden's still doing good. I hope he's still healthy back around then, but I don't think he's going to run again. I hope Joe Biden is still alive and healthy, but we all know he's probably not going to run. But I bet you if he did run, y'all would vote for him. Y'all would really say, oh, remember how good inflation was under Joe Biden? 9.1%? It's crazy. Happy Veterans Month, everybody. Happy Veterans Month, everybody. We got 115 people in here. Can we get up to 115 likes, please? Can we get up to 115 likes? Did the black contractors get paid for the new Obama building? What are you talking about? What kind of question is that, chat? I am pro-Israel, brother. That doesn't mean I agree with everything they do. I'm pro Donald J. Trump too. I support the president of the United States, but it doesn't mean I love everything he does. What the hell is Juneteenth, brother? Don't tell me that crap. But let's get the likes up to 25, 50. We got why on my feed? Because you're here to hear the facts today about the news between Iran, Donald Trump, and Israel, brother. Iran, Donald Trump, and Israel. Give my channel a shout out, brother. They can see you in the chats. If they can't see you in the chats, drop like a $20 super chat. I'll give you a shout out. Oh no, if I don't like all your holidays, then I'm a racist. If I don't like all your holidays, then I'm a racist. Where is White History Month? Where is White History Month? Man, we are not losing. We are not losing this war one bit. How are we losing? We took out most of Iran's military. We took out most of their navy. They lost $500 million a day. They lost a lot of their oil reserves. They lost a lot of their head leaders. Their economy is in shambles. People are starving. Their own people are having to take a loan for a loaf of bread. People in Iran are having to take a loan for a loaf of bread. How is that a win for Iran? How did Iran win? I mean, it's crazy. That's 100% true. What is fake news that I said? What? Name a single thing I said that was fake news. I'm not happy about Iranians starving, but y'all are the ones bragging that America lost the war. What are you talking about? Nah, France is constantly losing wars. France always gives up in whatever war they're in. Trump stopped. Well, this was going to be the 10th war that Trump stopped, but unfortunately, some countries, Israel, had to get involved with it. I'm not trying to say that I'm 100% pro-Israel. There's not a genocide going on in Gaza at all, but at the same time, I'm going to call it how I see it. And I don't think it's Benjamin Netanyahu. I just think it might be a couple uh, politicians that are not really liking our deal. We didn't start this war. We didn't start this war, brother. It's Veterans Month. It's not LGBTQ month. It's not Black History Month. It's not any of that stuff. It's Veterans Month. We already named the 10 wars before that Donald J. Trump stopped, and you didn't care. So why would we do it again? No, Trump is not Jewish, but even if he was Jewish, what's wrong with being Jewish? Veterans have several different months, brother. The thing is that they think everything is over, but the IRGC has the uncanny ability to say one thing and do another. 47 years of this, and people still think they have a clue about what is actually happening, and it's not over. I know, bro. People don't even look into all the different terror attacks, all the different stories. And now, basically, Iran is claiming Hezbollah as their own. They're saying, if you don't leave our people alone, your people, I guess, is a terrorist group, Hezbollah, then we're not going to negotiate. I mean, it's crazy. Even if Israel didn't bomb Hezbollah, even if Israel didn't bomb Lebanon, Hezbollah would bomb Americans, Israelis. They would take out as much people as they can if we even agreed with a peace deal with Iran. But I appreciate that super chat, brother. God bless. What you think about Trump giving Iran $300 billion in this war reparations? I made a whole video about it, brother. None of it's coming from America, and it doesn't even matter now because they're not even getting it. The deal is cut off. But if you really want to see what I think about it, you can watch the video. But I think it's strategically smart if we don't give the money to terrorists and we can invest in the country. I saw JD going on The View. He had a I believe that's where he had a breakdown where he wasn't going with Israel at all. He was complaining about the government. He pretty much admitted Benjamin Netanyahu was working with America, but the other people in the Israeli government are not wanting to work with us at all. But I do think we could possibly get this war done with, but it's very, very hard to make deals like this. Very, very hard. What's wrong with being a Fox News war here? No, I'm just kidding. I don't even watch Fox News like that, but you guys are CNN's best soldier. Chat is full of CNN's best soldiers. We got CNN's best soldiers in here, but can we get the likes up to 50, chat? At least. Do I support Palestine? Not really. It's historically not their land. Palestine was the co-creator of Palestine was literally best friends with Adolf Hitler. So that's the ironic stuff. The co-creator of Palestine literally taught Adolf Hitler different methods to mess with the Jews. So this is really where Muslims and Nazism started to mix together. There is pictures of him. His name was Muhammad al-Husseini. Muhammad al-Husseini. And he was the co-creator of Palestine, and he was best friends with Adolf Hitler. They literally have photos together. They made plans against the Jews together. Adolf Hitler promised when he took over Europe, he was going to make sure that Israel became Palestine forever and Palestine became its own independent country away from Great Britain. So that was a pretty crazy promise. I'm a Christian believer, and I do think Donald J. Trump is a Christian. And you could say being a part Christian is protecting the lands of Israel. But when I say protecting the lands of Israel, it's not just for and blessing the lands of Israel, it's not just about the government. Sometimes the government is wrong. Government makes mistakes. Yeah, Palestine was created in the early 1900s. It became its own nation state in 1988 officially. But the co-creator of Palestine, he was born in 1897 in Bethlehem in the Ottoman Empire. It was the Ottoman Empire back then. The Muslims ruled it. It wasn't Palestine. It was the Ottoman Empire. So he was born there. And he co created the idea of the Palestinian state in the Gaza lands. You can look this all up, by the way. Muhammad al Husseini. He was great friends with Adolf Hitler. I mean, Israel is playing 4D chess. If anyone's winning, I guess I would have to say it's probably them. But it's definitely not Iran. I'll give you that. It's cool if you're, I don't care what your religion is, brother. If anyone knows the history of Palestine, then everyone would really know that Palestine, the Ottomans didn't come into Israel, the Arabs didn't come into Israel until about 600 years after Jesus died. And when the Arabs originally came into the West Bank and Gaza, they were not even Muslims yet. They were pagans. So later on, these Arabs became Muslim. I'm just telling you a little bit about the history of Palestine since you guys are super obsessed with it. Excuse me, sir. See, after reading the chat, I noticed one thing that is ultimately true. Regardless of what we say, it doesn't matter. They won't see reason. Former communists even said it. They are useful idiots. Wow. Former communists even said it. They are useful idiots. I tried to debate previously earlier with a communist. It was a socialist, really, but he was hardcore. Hold on, guys. My throat hurts, so I wanted to clear my throat a little bit. Better now? Read the Constitution. Donald J. Trump is already going to be president in 2028. He's going to be president in 2028, 2029. He's the best president in American history. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. 30 likes is weak. You guys can at least get us up to 60. And thank you for that super chat. What I was going to say was I was debating some communists and socialists, and bro, they're impossible to get through to. They are useful idiots. They don't even understand what socialism is. They think socialism is Sweden. That's a social democracy. Even China is not a socialist or communist country. They operate out off a completely different model. They operate off the Singaporean model. The guy that created the country of Singapore was Chinese. He was an economical genius. He was all about free markets. But he also had social policies in his country as well. Really, really look into that guy if you guys are curious about economic theory. Look at the president of Singapore. He's a genius. He's a certified genius. Singapore is one of the wealthiest nations in the world now, and it's for a reason. And that's why China modeled their economic policies off of him. Tell you about Muslims? Well, there are a lot of radical Islamic Muslims, but not all Muslims are bad. Not all Muslims are bad. There's plenty of great people that are Muslim. But as far as Islam goes in the West, yeah, a lot of it is incompatible with our society. As far as younger marriage and stuff like that, that's completely incompatible with our society. And 87% of the global terror attacks are done by radical Islamic extremists. So yeah, When people are worried from terrorists from a certain group of people, it's statistically correct to be afraid of certain groups of people. I'm not saying it's right. That is discrimination in some points, but statistically, that would be a correct thing to do. Look it up, bro. Look up how much global terrorism is done by Muslims. 87%. That's global terrorism all around the world. I will give it to you that most of that global terrorism is Muslim on Muslim violence. The Shia and the Shiite, they have serious problems with each other. They're not united at all as a brotherhood. They literally constantly take each other out. Like imagine if the different denominations of Christian were actively fighting amongst each other and unaliving each other. That would be crazy. Well, that's what's happening in Islam right now. Envy crisis? Yeah, we do live in an envy crisis. Well, we got the likes coming up a little bit more. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. If you're saying that 86 stuff, just know there's a possibility that you could be investigated by the FBI. Don't be surprised. There's literally been dozens of stories of people making threats towards the president or the vice president and then being arrested. You can take a look on Twitter for that if you want. I've previously misspoken before. I don't remember what stream it was, but I thought that there was a larger Muslim population than a Christian population. Praise Jesus, but there's actually a largest population is Christianity. Larger than Judaism, obviously, and way larger, a bit larger, about by 200 million people larger than Islam. Thank you, brother. Anything on paper looks good, but when people get a hold of it, well, that's where things become broken. But trying to rationalize with the irrational, that's pushing a boulder up a hill on ice, impossible or insanity. Well, there is a lot of people that do disagree with me and they come on the channel quite frequently. They might think it's funny, hee hee ha ha, for me to talk about right wing conservative values. And they might laugh or say, oh, it's so funny. But rather, they've been watching me for a year, or, we've been doing this for about a year. If they've been watching us for a year, then in back of their heads, they're going to be thinking that maybe some of these ideas are correct. And if they keep watching long enough, they'll eventually get curious and they'll look up some of these ideas and hopefully they'll get a little bit more conservative backgrounds and perspectives. But if not, if they're just completely delusional and we never get through to them, I mean, they're still watching. Maybe there's one or two ideas they can agree with and they can build off that. If not, I don't really know what to tell them, but it is hard. It is like pushing up a boulder up a hill on ice. It's impossible or it's just pure insanity. I 100% get what you're saying. Never been to Romania, but I see we got some Romanian people in the chat. Shout out Romania. I did not know that Romanians supported Israel. Do I support Donald J. Trump? What do you think? The hat says Trump 2028 on it. Why shouldn't America help any other country? If they're helping us, why shouldn't we help them? Why shouldn't we have positive relationships with allies and friends and stuff like that? I mean, there's such little real allies in the world left anyway. See, allies in the world are just like allies on an individual level. Not everyone's actually there to, support and really be your ally. Only certain people will stand around when stuff really hits the fan. Same thing with our allies. Like some of these European countries say they're our allies, but when stuff hit the fan, were they really there? No, they weren't really there. I appreciate that, Degen. God bless. Well, I can say shout out all the Muslims watching. I hope you guys convert to Christianity. I hope you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Oh, here we go with the crazy insults towards Trump again. We're up to 50 likes, guys. Let's see if we can get it up to 100. If we got any other questions, comments, drop some super chats. I really appreciate it. Much love to everyone out there. Yes, sir, a fellow Republican. I'm not going to say I would vote Republican no matter who, but I would 98% of the time vote with Republicans. Because the Democrats and the Republicans have changed their values a lot over time, but mostly Democrats. The Democrats used to be pro strong border, pro border security, but now they've changed their mind after that. Ever since Joe Biden got into office, he was the first Democrat that actually was letting people know that he was pro illegal alien immigration. The first president ever to actively just tell you that right to your face. Right to your face. And then that's becoming more acceptable now within the Democrat Party, which in my mind, that's completely unacceptable. Completely. Are you all Republicans or just mostly conservative? I'm just mostly conservative. I would, if it was John Fetterman versus Ted Cruz, I'm voting John Fetterman. Like, it depends on the candidate. I'm not voting red no matter who. I just gave you a clear example of it. MAGA strong, USA first, yes, sir. See, I think a lot of people are honestly happy about Trump and JD Vance fighting against Israel, quote unquote. I don't think Israel's evil. I don't think they're bad. I think they're good people. I think a lot of their government is good, but sometimes we have to just question their decisions. Okay, we're the big boy, we're the big nation, we're the big and powerful. I have nothing against AIPAC because they receive $0 from Israel. So as far as that goes, I have no problem with that. And as far as the money we give to Israel, that's actually benefiting us way more than them. That's why Benjamin Netanyahu has repeatedly said on television he does not want to use aid because almost 100% of that aid has to be used on buying our weapons. That stimulates our military and our economy. And they can only specifically buy weapons from us, no other country. No other country. And they have to give us all their upgrades, all their new technologies, all their new features. Anything that can benefit us. Someone says committing a genocide is just the thing you can casually disagree with but still support. I don't believe they're committing a genocide. I disagree with what they're doing in Lebanon. That's what I disagree with. I don't even disagree with everything they do in Lebanon. I agree with some of it. But as far as taking apartment buildings out to take out like a couple hundred people to get two terrorists, I'm completely against that. But as far as them doing their self-defense against Lebanon, I 100% understand that. And as far as Palestine, there's no genocide going on either because there's 2 million Palestinians living inside of Israel that live their day-to-day life every day normally. Palestinians and Arabs in Israel actually have way more rights than actual Israeli citizens because Israeli citizens, they have to pay for college, they have to join the military. Palestinian people that are born in Israel, they don't have to join the military, they get free college, they get free education. They have more rights than an Israeli citizen. And that's the truth. And they're living in harmony. There's even Christians in Israel. They're living in harmony. So there's no genocide going on. And also, a genocide is an ethnic cleansing. For there to be a genocide, that would have to mean that Israel was trying to take out as many Palestinians as possible. That's definitely not what's happening. They're going door to door. They're knocking on the door. They're saying, please evacuate. Unfortunately, there's terrorists in the area. We're going to come through and take them out. That's what they're telling them. But it is what it is. Can we get the likes way up there? We got 210 people. We got 58 likes. Can we at least get up to 100 likes, chat? Let's take a look at the super chat here. Just stay the course and hold your ground, sir. Even in the beginning is a rocky path, but if you find your footing, question mark, it's easier than the rest. It's easier the rest of the way. Even more so when traveling with allies, just don't step into BS. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Like I'm back in Israel. I back our allies. But if we're getting, if we're getting into BS, then it is what it is. And if we're gonna have to stay in this conflict longer within Iran, I really do think that we should, take care of business. We should take care of business. I appreciate those super chats, though, brother. Much love. God bless you. Happy Friday. I support Israel. I stand with Israel. I don't think a genocide is happening. Now we got up to 64 likes. We can at least get to 100. At least 100. We have more jobs right now than we've ever had in American history. Someone said lost jobs. We have 174,000 jobs added in the month of May. Lives, we lost the same amount of lives in this Iran war as we lost in the Afghani pullout. And gas prices were way higher during the Afghani pullout. And those soldiers' lives did not need to be lost at all. We also left billions of dollars of military equipment in the Middle East, all thanks to Joe Biden. Are any of you still talking about that military failure? No. None of you are talking about that military failure. I can't agree. We should get some younger politicians. There shouldn't be, politicians that are 100 years old. But at the same time, Donald Trump is still pretty energetic for his age. He's still getting things done overall. He's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. People have no idea what a true genocide is. They just scream a narrative and they ignore it just the same. I mean, there's definitely a war. I do pray for the women and children of Gaza, of the Gaza Strip. But at the same time, do you iron your flag? Truthfully, I have a Trump banner in my other room, and my Trump banner is not ironed. But that's because I do not consider that a flag. I consider that a banner because it has the image of a man with a flag. But if I had an actual flag that I was hanging outside my house, yes, that would be ironed, sir. Yes. It's a war. There's always casualties. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. 100%. And not to mention, lots of these houses in Gaza, they are finding Mein Kampf. Like I previously told you guys before, you can look up Muhammad al Husseini. He was best friends with Adolf Hitler. He helped him develop some of his ideology against the Jews and how to, be, merciless against them. And that's why today, the Mein Kampf number one language that the Mein Kampf is written in is Arabic. And that's why almost every other house or every house almost in Gaza has Mein Kampfs. And a lot of these Palestinians even have Nazi tattoos. And a lot of them are taught this ideology from a very, very young age. Some kids that are even 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And some of them even carry AK-47s and they attack grown Israeli IDF members. So Donald Trump is, we've already been over this about 20 times already, this live stream. Let's just clarify something real quick. Donald J. Trump will be president in 2028 as he got elected for a 4-year term. Who loves Jews more than Americans? Not Donald J. Trump. It's not unconstitutional. I'm going to explain this one more time to the slow Democrats in the back. Donald Trump ran his election in 2024. He got elected in November of 2024. Okay, then he got in office in January 20th, 2025. He's going to have 4 more years after 2025. That means he's going to leave office in January 20th of 2029. You guys are extremely ignorant. You don't know how long the presidential terms are. This is ridiculous. Stop telling me that Trump 2028 is not going to happen and that he's not going to be president in the year 2028 because that's simply not true. Trump is not agreeing with everything with Israel right now if you didn't notice. Trump stopped an attack Israel was about to do on Iran. Trump stopped an attack Israel was about to do on Lebanon. He did all that with a call. They were about to attack one of the negotiators for Iran and the United States was a Pakistani guy, and he was telling some of the information about Israel to the United States of America. So Israel threatened to unalive him as well, but the United States said, no, 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 you're not going to do that. Trump specifically. So no, Trump has the reins of Israel. Israel is not running the show. That's a perfect example of how Israel is not running the show. And yes, we have given Israel about $36 billion over a 3-year period for war, but they've had to use all that money to purchase weapons from us. They spent over $200 billion of money purchasing our weapons and our stuff. That's why they don't want our aid anymore. Because when they take our aid, it's basically forcing Israel to spend hundreds of billions of dollars with America. We're going to make a whole video talking about the financial relationship between Israel and America because you guys are very, very confused out there. And it's because of bad influences like Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson and these kinds of people out here. But can we get up to 100 likes? Make sure you guys subscribe. Oh, here we go. We'll respond to this one irrelevant comment. Israel's money is our tax money. That's their currency, American tax dollars, or Israel's fucking currency. That's fucked up. Stop that shit. What are you talking about? Israel gives America way more money than they receive from us. I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Ooh. But if you guys have any questions, comments, or you just want to show love, it's Friday. If anyone wants to hop on here and debate, you can. We'll do it for $100 super chat. You can come co-host on the channel. Thank you for everyone saying bless you. I could absolutely pass a naturalization test. You couldn't pass a geography test if it was to save your life. Yes, they pay us more money than we pay them. It is true that we pay each other back and forth, and I know that sounds very dumb, but it's true. Democrats gave Ukraine Patriot missiles and billions of dollars. Yeah, I completely disagree with that. Why would we be funding a war in Ukraine? That has nothing to do with us. Just for Ukraine to win in the end, we have given them almost $500 billion, and they're still going to lose this war in the end. So, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? Really, what difference does it make? The liberals are getting offended over a hat. I really don't understand why. I mean, it's just letting you know that Trump is going to be president in 2028. It's just letting you know that pretty much. I have bad news for you, brother. You can't be winning a war when you lost 20% of your land. That's not a possibility. How many of you guys want to see a transgender call in? Does anyone want to see a transgender call in? Does anyone want to see a guest that's transgender call in? Or if anyone else wants to call in, you can drop $100 super chat. I would appreciate that, but we can't get a transgender call in. No thanks, no thanks. Yes, yes, no. All right, a lot of y'all saying no. The majority of y'all saying no right now. So we're probably gonna say no. I mean, we could debate about whatever you want. No, no, we've been having a lot of that. We might as well say no, right? But you can join that Discord. It would be funny to debate one. It would be funny to debate one. It's just funny to see their reaction because I see them in a group chat with the real woman and the trans woman, and they're debating right now. Because another article came out today about unfortunately a woman getting raped. It's very gross by a transgender woman that's really just a man. This guy just can't admit he's wrong. He's a tip dork. What the hell does that even mean? And what am I wrong about? Be a little bit more specific than that. Yeah, that's weird. That is weird. There will be a Trump 2028, brother. There will be a Trump 2028. A dog standing up to its master. Is that how you guys feel about Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu right now? A dog standing up to his master? Is that the type of analogies you're trying to make? Because all you ultra right wingers should have been saying, I told you so, I told you so. So you should be riding Trump's D. He's doing exactly what you wanted. The only thing Trump didn't do that these ultra right wingers want, these Nick Fuentes fanboys that be riding Nick Fuentes' D every day, all day, the only thing they didn't do yet is take away Israel's military aid to purchase our weapons. That's the only thing they didn't do. But if they did that, I guarantee you, Nick Fuentes would still probably come on his show and say, "Oh, Trump ain't cool. He just did this because we put pressure on him." That's bullcrap. These ultra right wing people are not even ultra right wing. They're really just Democrats when you really break it down. When you really break it down. Because they even tell you to vote Democrat every single election, every single midterms. What was the last time we had it? Yeah, it was 2022. So Nick Fuentes said in 2022, vote Democrat. In 2026, he said vote Democrat again. How many times does this guy have to play this playbook with you guys? Of him acting like he's an ultra right wing, he's someone to look up to. Hitler wanted to get rid of the mandate of Palestine because he told literally the co-creator of Palestine himself that he was gonna let him make a whole country of Palestine with their own independence. I just told you. Just told you, brother. Hitler wanted to get rid of the mandate of Palestine because Jews live there. Well, what do you expect? He wanted to get rid of the Jews living in the mandate of Palestine, and he wanted to make it an entire Muslim country, and he wanted to name the country Palestine. And he literally agreed with Muhammad al Husseini. If Muhammad al Husseini could help him remove the Jews once he was done with Europe out of Israel, he would give him the whole country. That was the agreement. That was literally the agreement between Muhammad al Husseini and Adolf Hitler. Do a little bit of reading and research. Yes, Adolf Hitler was against the state of Palestine, but he was definitely not against the Palestinians themselves. He was allied with the Palestinians. He was allied with basically their top dog. Trump's kids will look up to him. You guys realize Trump's grandfather, almost 100 years of Trump business in America? That's a dynasty. I love when black Americans or black people in America in general say, "Oh, you're white, so that must mean that you got generational wealth." Did you know 87% of the world loses their generational wealth after the first generation? And for the second generation, it's like even higher. So no, white people don't have generational wealth because we weren't slaves. Just like black people don't have generational wealth. It's not because their great granddaddy was a slave. It's because the majority of Americans and the majority of people in life don't create generational wealth. But we do have higher generational wealth than some countries, but we're not going to get into that. Gotta love the poor excuse from the left, almost like they're fueled by emotion. People who vote Democrat never get what they voted for, but continue to vote Democrat. Better word is insanity. Oh yeah, I love that. That's 100% true, man. And you know what? Want to know why I know that's true? Because these people are constantly letting you know, constantly, that they are not Democrats. You'll call them a Democrat, they'll be like, "No, I'm not a Democrat. No, no, I'm not a Democrat. I'm way more far left than a Democrat." Or they'll say, "Oh, I'm a liberal. I don't align with the Democrats." The only reason they say that is because of so many empty Democrat promises. The only reason they won't claim to be a Democrat is because they know that the Democrat Party has like a 20% approval rating. Every single Democrat policy in the modern era has failed, dude. There's nothing else we can do. There's nothing else we can do to save them. It's over. It's over for them. But at the same time, if you voted Kamala Harris, I reserve the right to call you a Democrat. Unless you changed your mind, would you vote Trump now? Or would you vote for another Republican now? Then you could be considered a conservative or a Republican. But if not, if you voted Kamala Harris or if you voted against Trump, you are a Democrat. I'm sorry. That's just the way it works. But let's get to 100 likes, chat. I appreciate all the super chats, guys. Keep them coming. If you guys have any questions, comments, let me know. It's Friday, brother. What Obama building? What are you talking about, Obama building? No, the Irish and the Italians were indentured servants. But I guess on Juneteenth or whatever it's called, they just forget about the Irish and the Italians that built America all of a sudden. Oh, what happened? Why don't the Irish and the Italians that built America get their own holiday? And let me guess, you're going to say, oh, they do, the St. Patrick Day. What about the Italians? What about the Italians? What do they got? And what about the fact that the first slave owners in America were black? What about the fact that peanut butter was not invented by a black man? Slavery is horrible. Obviously, slavery is horrible. But guess who is still doing slavery today? Africans are still doing slavery today in Africa. It's over a 1,500-year-old slave trade. And do Africans care about black people doing slave trade? No. No, they do not. Black Americans do not care about the slave trade in Africa, but they're so quick to bring up the slave trade that was in America. The black people will never even talk about the slave trade going through South America. I mean, it's ridiculous. Can we at least talk about the other history, or do we just gotta victimize one group of people and tell them that they're oppressed and that they're victims of society and that they can't make it because it's so hard for, no, it's not. Your skin color has nothing to do with it. Your skin color has nothing to do with it. I am a patriot. Here, let me take a look if I can see a guy named Todd something something. I really don't see a guy. Oh, pretty sure the first slave owner was a black man. We can look this up right here. First slave owner, black man. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Historical records frequently point to Anthony Johnson, a former Angolan a servant, as a first legally recognized uh, slave owner in America. Hold on. Was he the first slave owner in America? Well, it depends what you consider slaves. If you can, Christopher Columbus had slaves, but one of the first slave owners were was a black man. I'll go ahead and retract my statement. One of the first slave owners was a black man. Maybe not the first, because it depends what you mean by slave owner. Legal slave owner, because slavery was legal. Do you mean legal slave owner in the United States, or do you mean a slave owner on American land? Depends what you mean by that. But either way, a black man was one of the very first slave owners in America. That part is true. I literally just did look it up. It was in the 1600s. Islam is still doing slavery today, and I guess that is just okay for the lefties. Do we have any moderators in the chat? Maybe J Money or somebody that can send the Discord link so we can get some people in here? Actually, if you add up all Trump's deportations now, he even has more deportations than Barack Obama. Here, let me check out what he said about Reagan. Look up how Reagan and the new Christian right used states' rights to advocate for segregation. Look up the Southern strategy. Why is it the old Dixiecrat Confederation and the Republican Party now, huh? There was no party switch, bub. The Dixiecrats are the Democrats. We all know it. Y'all literally got caught. Uh, a Democrat organization, the Southern Poverty Law Group, allegedly literally got caught funding the Ku Klux Klan. How are y'all any different than you were back then? And you're telling us we're the Dixiecrats? Brother, you're the Dixiecrats. Even the majority of the racists were Democrats in the South. I'm from the South. I can tell you that. They were every single one of them, other than the last 15, 20 years, were all Democrats. J Money sent the Discord link. If you guys want to scroll up and debate, you can. Click that Discord link down there. Join the Discord link if you guys want to debate. What's your opinion on Islam? Do you think it's a threat to Christianity in America? I think radical Islam absolutely is a threat to Christianity in America. It has a long, long, deep rooted history of doing the same thing over and over and over again, which has taken more and more land. There is 55 Muslim countries. Yet y'all really think that Jews can't just have one country to themselves? That's crazy. But click that Discord link that J Money sent, guys. Join the Discord. Let's get some good debates. Not a white supremacist and not a fascist. Oh, here we go. We got someone that's mad. We got someone that's mad. If I remember, you got banned from the Discord. I can't even remember what that was for. Oh no, it's because you lost the debate. That's why. That's why you're salty. Now I can remember. Get the likes way, way up there. And the guy that you're crying about anyway, he got kicked from the Discord, so it really makes no difference. I hear people out and then I kick them out. I don't care who you are or what you are, but I'm going to hear you out and then I'm going to kick you out if you violate rules. And he violated rules, so he got kicked out. So no, we don't platform racist or fascist. The white nationalist in the Confederacy is gone, brother. The white nationalists are chilling with y'all. I mean, the majority of the middle class is Republican. The majority of the Democrat Party is the wealthy. That's a fact. You can look that up. Most of the middle class is Republican. So if you're telling me that you think the majority of the middle class in America is is racist, then I guess you can just leave our country then, please? But can we get to 100 likes? Islam does still live in the 7th century. I 100% believe that. If you don't want to debate, you don't got to debate. But if you do want to debate, you can join the link, brother. Listen, this isn't even about Trump. If you want to call me a traitor for supporting Trump, that's fine. But the majority of the middle class is Republican. You even agreed with it. So don't be disingenuous about the whole context of the argument. If you want to debate, then join the link. You'll see a guy named J Money. He'll pop out the link in here. Not really a big fan of India, of the country of India. Not really a place I would visit. They're not really known. Their country isn't really known for the cleanliness. But you'll be called quote unquote racist for saying that. Listen, if you're an Indian man, you want to debate, I'll debate you. I'll hear you out, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you my opinion. Look, even someone in the comment section, I don't think it's all one group of people. There are great Indian people, but people in the comment section are saying that a lot of them ruined different parts of Canada. And that's not even coming from me. That's just coming from the comment section. A lot of people just don't like the country. That's their opinion. Join the Discord. J Money sent the link. Many people would call that country a shithole. I know people that flew all the way to India, 16, 17 hours away, and they literally flew home because they couldn't handle the smell of the air. If you're Canadian and you want to chat about it, please join that Discord link as well, brother. And happy Friday. Yes, there's plenty of good Indian people. Kash Patel is Indian. I don't know if he's a good guy or not, but yeah, he's Indian. I mean, there's decent human beings out there that are Indian people. There's nothing against Indians specifically, but their culture and their country, I'm not a huge fan of. Is that right to say? Is that okay to say that their culture and country I'm not a big fan of, and they can't assimilate with America? See, I have reasoning behind it. I don't hate them at all, and I don't hate someone just to hate them either. I don't hate them. I don't even dislike them. It's just specific ones of them that I dislike. If they're coming in illegally, yes, I dislike them. Got to? No, you cannot come to America. Please, God, no. We got 101 likes. Can we get to 200 likes? And if you guys got any questions, comments, whatever you want to talk about, drop some super chats. Let's hear it. If not, we might let this guest call in here. Should we just have the guest call in? No, we're not going to bother them now. There's new people in the Discord, though, to be vetted for sure. You guys can join the debate VC because you're going to have to wait for people to come in there. Listen, I'm sure some parts of India are fine. I've just never specifically found any areas that are worth me visiting, even a little bit. Well, we won the Iran war. That's how it went. America and India are not very alike. We're a very clean country. Are you happy with Trump's new stance on Israel? I'm not going to say happy is the right word because I really prefer us to have a more friendly relationship with Israel because I think Israel is overall more of a beneficiary thing for our government. But do I agree with his stance on Israel? Yeah, I was already kind of saying this in some previous videos before that Lebanon could be questionable. And now I'm pretty much just telling you that if you're blowing up a building to take out two terrorists, that's probably not right if that building has people in it. But as far as being allied with Israel, yeah, I love being allies with Israel. They're one of our greatest allies. But as far as all the stuff they do, I don't agree with all of it. But I don't think what's going on in Palestine is a genocide. But I don't like what's going on in Lebanon really 100% either. This is a recent new attack that Israel has done. A specific attack that I disagree with. Israel is not the devil. So don't be saying these kinds of negative things in chat, please. There's good and bad everywhere. I agree. Excuse me. Listen, you guys have actual beef with a country you've never even been to. You couldn't even tell me what Tel Aviv looked like. You couldn't even tell me what Israel looked like. You probably couldn't even tell me what language they spoke in Israel. And you're going to sit here and be this anti Semitic. It's crazy. It's crazy. There was not 75,000 unalived women and children. There were 75,000 civilian casualties. They're not all women and children. Saying negative things is the lefties' way of life. Yeah, they have to get their brain good, right? Because they love to say all this anti Semitic negative crap. I mean, does that really improve your life? Does saying such negative stuff really improve your life? Does it really make you feel better? Does it really make you feel better? Or does it just make you feel like crap? Because you know that you're really a piece of crap deep down. Israel has nothing really to do with 9/11 other than they gave us some intelligence here and there. But Israel really has nothing to do with 9/11. I mean, projection is the chat's hallmark, not mine. I mean, I don't know if George Bush did anything or not. I'm not gonna say. Oh, here we go with the white racism. Now you're gonna call me mayonnaise. What is up with the racism against white people in America? Been to 20 countries, and literally America is the only fucking country I go to where y'all got racism against white people. This shit is crazy. Every other country other than America is way more racist. First off, but the funny thing, America is the only country that shows racism towards white people on this level. I've seen racism towards white people in other countries, but on this level specifically, it's crazy. Oh, here we go. Americans hate white people because of what black people say a lot of the time. White people hate white people a lot of the time because what black people say about white people. They're referencing that Tides conspiracy about Israelis in New Jersey. You talking about New Jersey or New York? I'm sorry, I'm a white, purebred, straight man. Pure white. Purebred white. And I'm proud of my ancestry. I'm proud of where I'm from, sir. I will be checking the number of leftist panic attacks later today. That number is astonishing, hilarious. They have polls on everything. Really? They have polls on that, brother? That's crazy. I'm trying to figure out where I go to get that poll, man. I'm not even gonna tell y'all where I'm from because a lot of y'all are gonna say, "Oh, bro, you're not white. You're not white." Yes, I'm a purebred white man, 6'5". tall, handsome, and light skin. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Or is it our society taught to hate other people? I'm just doing a social experiment. I'm trying to see if our society is really taught to, hate white people, which I think it is. Join the Discord down below if you haven't already that J Money just sent. What the hell is White History Month? That's a history month we need, brother. That's a history month we need. But I need to see this link about leftist panic attacks. Is it leftist the panic attacks over Israel and Iran? I mean, I can't count how many leftist panic attacks we're having in the chat right now. It's not white history all year. No, it's not. Because you guys are not embracing white history. You're not celebrating it. You spit on it. I told you before, I've been to over 20 countries, and I suspect America is the most racist one towards white people and the least racist one towards black and brown people. And that's exactly what I've seen. I've seen every other country a lot more racism towards black and brown, especially in Europe, and way more racism towards the white man in America. Is that just the culture? Is that just the culture? I'm just asking. I'm being serious. That Canadian guy was absolutely sub-zero IQ. He was a bleeding heart. He was an emotional wreck. Brother, I would not live in Canada if you gave me $200,000 a year. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm really not living in Canada. As a white woman, you should not be celebrating June 10th because they are trying to shame your ancestors. They're trying to basically June 10th is a holiday, disgracing the white man and saying everything he did was so horrible. I'm not going to be advocating for that. I'm completely fine with Black History Month. But as far as villainizing the white man after all we've done for you, we gave the black man trillions of dollars in reparations through welfare, and we brought them to the greatest country in the world. And yes, slavery was absolutely wrong. But we're also not going to sit here and demonize the creators of the country that you live in, which is the white man. And yes, other races and other ethnicities did have accomplishments and achievements inside of America. I'm not trying to take that away from them. But let's be honest about who really built our country. They freak out over so many things, it's not even easy to gauge what is going on in their brain of theirs. Yeah, I don't really think there's much brain of theirs. I'm sorry that your black ancestors sold you to us. I'm very sorry about that. If that's what you want me to remember Juneteenth about, I will. If you want me to remember Juneteenth from, I'm sorry that your black ancestors sold you to me, to my ancestors, okay, I'll say that. But none of my ancestors were even slave owners, so why does that even matter? My family basically came here after the slaves ended. So after slavery ended, so basically my family didn't even get on the boom in wealth. No, I'm just kidding. There was no boom in wealth. Only 2% of white America owned slaves anyway. Only 2% of America owned slaves. You know how much money a slave costs in today's dollars? A slave costs $100,000 in today's dollars. $100,000. And that's just for the regular slave. That's not talking about the high grade slaves. Only 2% of America owns slaves. Less than 2% of Americans. Rich plantation owners. Irish and Italians built America. Y'all ain't gonna break this guy, chat. He's the OG. I appreciate that. They really think they could break me with a bunch of useless messages and a bunch of useless threats. As always, I'm used to it. Why don't one of y'all go post a video threatening my life like you normally do every other day? It's been a couple days. I'm waiting. I mean, we already know about the crime statistics. I don't even think it's necessary to go into that at this point. I mean, I would argue that Indians are some kind of colonizers nowadays. They're taking over new land, just like the English did in the past. I'm not saying all of them, a select group of them for sure. But a lot of dumb white people out there are saying, "Oh, England colonized India, so now it's the UK's turn to get colonized by India. It's revenge. It's just history repeating itself. It's just them getting revenge." That's bullshit. You're not just gonna let your country get invaded because of some historical fact that you think was wrong for the English to do. It's the CES poll by Nate Silver. What are we talking about? Oh, the CES poll by Nate Silver? Okay, fantastic. I'll be looking out for that, but I can also take a look at that myself. Hate to break it to you, but the European hate to break it to you, but the Europeans, Irish, and Italians built America. You dumb. I ain't gonna say the last part. No, 2% of Americans own slaves, brother. Are you literally trying to say that more than 2% of Americans own slaves? Let's see. Let's see. Let's take a look. Yeah, only 2% of Americans owned slaves. Based on the population and the registered slaveholders in 1960. So, yeah, 2%. According to the registered slaveholders in 1980 and the U.S. population in 1980. I think the highest number ever was around 8%. That was right before the Civil War. When did I say 1880? I didn't say anything about a year. I said 1860. I said the 1860 registered slaveholders. 1860! No one said anything about 1980. Well, the 8% was only for around a year or two. That wasn't the average. The average percent of Americans that owned slaves throughout history was 2%. 1860. 1860, y'all. 1860. Once again, I'll read it to you one more time. It is true, roughly 1.4 to 2% of the total U.S. population were registered slaveholders in 1860. Is that clear enough for you? Is that clear enough for you? A lot of people should be glad that they grew up in America and not in a mud hut in some other country. They should be 100% happy of that. I mean, I would have been fine with where my ancestors came from, but hey, I do appreciate being born in America and not somewhere else. You're getting Burger King? Don't get the Impossible Whopper. It's horrible. You're specifically talking about one specific area. I'm talking about countrywide. Don't get so mad. I know your wife is black or something, but don't get so mad. I'm just pointing out the facts that only 2% of Americans own slaves. So don't think for a second that you owe your black wife reparations, because you don't. The only reparations that are owed in this country are to the January Sixers. That's the only reparations that are owed in this country, realistically. Or to the Jan Sixers. I mean, fun fact about Abraham Lincoln and Thomas Jefferson, they both believed in freeing the slaves, but both of them wanted to send the slaves back to their countries. But the reason that the slaves didn't get sent back to their country is because Congress realized that they were too civilized and too Americanized to go back to Africa now. That's what Congress thought. And maybe Congress saved their lives, I guess. Who knows if they would have even made it back on a boat. And even if they did make it back on a boat, they probably wouldn't have survived back in those tribes. Play Tom McDonald's new song. Jay Money, we ain't playing the Tom McDonald's song this time. We ain't playing no music on this one. But I got you tonight. I got you tonight after the night stream. Jay Money's my friend, so he knows I got him. But some videos I'm not gonna play any songs or review any songs because I wanna collect 100% of the ad revenue, ladies and gentlemen. Handing out money for reparation will result in all that money being spent in days, they're gonna be stuck in horrendous debt. Yeah, I agree. I mean, giving a bunch of poor idiots money is not gonna benefit them or really our economy too much. I mean, it'll spike it short term. Join Discord. I gotta see what this new song's even about before I play it. But if someone really wants us to play it really, really, really badly, you can drop 40 a 4 or a 40 or $50 super chat. $50 super chat, and I'll play it on this episode. If not, we'll do it tonight at 6 or 7 when we have Dustley or someone else on. Day after day, MAGA grows stronger, more powerful, and more competent and more capable. It's fantastic. We are your economy. It's we're economy racist. It's our money. Who's we? It ain't your money after you give it to me. I got J Money. They're saying Euro, you better play it tonight. I got you, J Money. I got you. You ain't mad at me, are you, J Money? We still gotta play MAGA games. I didn't see your question, bro. You gotta drop super chats if you want me to make sure I see your question. Sometimes I miss it. It's not because I'm trying to ignore you. I try to answer as much good questions in the comments as I can. Simon is weird. Simon is weird. We're all close to death. What's your point? Let's get the likes up, though. If you guys haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. So I can send you a link. Yeah, you can send me a link. You can send me the link. Is this like a debate stream? I mean, yeah, if you want to join the Discord and debate me, you can. I'm chill, but screw Trump. Well, I guess thanks, I guess. I mean, I don't like everything about Trump, but the majority of the stuff I agree with. There's the Discord link, guys. If you guys are being entertained, that's the only thing I really care about. I could care really less if you like Trump or not. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't like Trump. But there's a lot of good information that we're giving out here. A lot of good information. Well, come and do it, Nexium. Come and do it. Happy Trump month. It's Trump month now? Why do some of the Kurdish support the IRGC? I really don't understand. Really don't understand. Meta seeks immunity in Kids Online Safety Act. No. Vance delays trips to Switzerland to lead new USA talks with Iran. You know when it's bad when actual criminals are released in blue states and they say we're the real criminals. Give me a break. Give me a break. What about that Ukrainian girl that was stabbed like 14 times in her neck? Y'all really didn't care. Y'all really didn't care. Absolutely no federal holidays in June. Flag Day and Father's Day recognized. The reason that America's birth rate is down is because a lot of people are just lazy losers nowadays. There's too much access to bullshit. That's what the problem is. There's way too much access to bullcrap. People need to lock in a little bit more and put down the liquor and put down the crack pipe. You have no idea if I have 20 kids or no kids. And if I did have any, I wouldn't be telling YouTube. But y'all are weird in the comment section. Why does my hat say 2028? Because Donald J. Trump is going to be president in 2028? That's why? I 100% understand you are weird, not me. Why is it not very constitutional? Didn't Trump put in office in 2025? Doesn't he have 4 years after he gets in office in 2025? Doesn't that mean he leaves office in 2029? Isn't that what it means? But guys, if you want to send the Discord link, why do we have so many useless holidays? I don't know. But to be honest with you, Europe has way more useless holidays. Especially Spain in particular. They have like every freaking day of the year, every other week, it seems like a holiday they have in Spain. Every single other week. But can we get to 120 likes? I appreciate that 60 grit. Yes, that's exactly what this means. That means Trump will be president in 2028. Yeah, I lived in Spain before for about a year and a half. And they close down their restaurants at 3 o'clock until about like 6 or 7 o'clock. They have hella holidays. They don't even work on Friday at most places. I mean, it's crazy. What toddlers were fed to alligators? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Let's see what other new news we can find. Vietnamese man deported to South Sudan by the United States government. That is fantastic. We have over 13 months of zero border turnaways. Zero border turnaways. I'm in Florida right now, brother. I'm in Florida right now, but I used to live in Spain. And Montenegro and Georgia. I lived in a couple different places. And guess what? Every time I worked somewhere, I did it legally. And every time I lived somewhere, I did it legally. So why should we allow illegal alien immigrants to flood into our country? Why would we allow that? Facts overload? Facts overload of what? Facts overload of what? How is the economy failing? On what metrics is the economy failing? What metrics is the economy failing at? I love Trump, and I think Netanyahu's pretty decent as well. I got love for him as well. But you guys join the Discord, follow the Instagram, Your Own Travel YouTube on Instagram, and get the likes way up. Can we get to 125 likes? Trump is only in the files for snitching. That's it. That's the only place Trump is in the files. When did I say France is always at war? I don't ever remember saying that. But France has had the most revolutions other than any other nation. Is that true? Is that really what you're saying, chat? What did I lie about now, guys? What are you crying about in chat? How is the economy failing? You're making all these claims. You're making all of these claims, brother, about the economy failing. The average household income is way up. GDP is up. GDP per capita is up. Everything is up. Everything. So how is our economy failing? Stock market is up almost 40%. Almost 40% since Trump got into office. Gas prices are relatively lower than they were when Joe Biden was in office. Grocery prices are down. Gas prices are down. In a majority of areas, gas is still cheaper than it was under Joe Biden. Look up the time the French government wanted to place speed cameras. The people said no. Days later, no speed cameras. That's fantastic. That is really fantastic. Someone said Dubai. What about Dubai? Why does that matter, Louie Louie? Florida gas today, $3.39. That's way lower than the $5 it was a couple years ago under President Biden. Billions in property damage? What area are you in where gas is $2.79? That's pretty good. You're over there by Sheriff Grady, huh? I debate people literally every day. We've already debated a person this morning, and we're going to be debating people this evening. The only one that's going to get dog walked is the Democrats. GDP is at 1.6% for 2026. Okay, I don't think that those numbers are true. Here, let me pull them up. And that's still way better than Canada. Canada literally has a negative GDP. No, the GDP growth for 2026 is 3.2%. So it's almost double what you claim it is. All you got to do is do a quick Google search. This is directly from Goldman Sachs. This is directly from Goldman Sachs. Between 2.5 to 3.2%. So almost double what you claimed it was. These Democrats even got to lie about the GDP. These Democrats even got to lie about the GDP to try to make it look like it's in a recession when it's not. Isn't that crazy? Excuse me. The lazy will always get poorer and poorer. Nope, Canada GDP is 0.3 in their last fiscal quarter. They're in a recession. I don't even need to Google that. I Googled that yesterday. Here's the point. Leftists can't search anything. They demand the source, and even after giving the info, they still scream. Yep, I agree. Colt, Colt, Colt. I heard it millions of times, probably. Richard, why are you so angry, brother? It's Friday. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. No, the USA is not hated worldwide, but you wouldn't know. You're not Mr. Worldwide, are you? You're not exactly Mr. Worldwide. I love when Democrats tell you that Trump is hated worldwide, but none of them have even left their state, much less the country. How is Trump hated worldwide? Anybody who said Trump is hated worldwide has never left the country. Oh, here we go. Someone's angry. Little fella's angry. You lefties should go enjoy the Juneteenth parade today. Come on, go join your BLM parade. Your anti-white parade. Because white privilege doesn't exist. I just want y'all to remember that. You're probably not even American. So yeah, you're probably in a different country than American because you're not born in America. Liberals are racist. A lot of them are. That's not very liberal though. Oh, we got some radical Islamists in chat. I see you, buddy. I see you. The Bureau of Justice, they confuse white crimes for the Bureau of Justice. Their white crimes are also accounting for Arabs and light skinned Mexicans, all Latins, all Latinos, all people that are Latino are considered white according to the Bureau of Statistics. So you're counting white and Arabs, and when you say 57% of SA are white, you're counting Hispanic and Arab. I mean, you can go ahead and Google search that. So you're basically saying over 80% of the grapes are Hispanic and Arab. Okay, cool, brother. If those are your statistics you're pulling out of your ass, that's awesome. That's 100% true, brother. That's 100% true. That's actually factual. Now let's point out the black crime. That's basically just African Americans. Let's point out the black crime. Now they're about 13% of the population, but they commit 57% of all the homicides. And most of those homicides are black on black crimes. Isn't that wonderful for the black communities? No, that's horrible, bro. That's horrible. That's 100% correct. That's 100% correct. That data is straight from the FBI crime statistics. There's no denying facts. So when y'all are celebrating Juneteenth, really what you should be celebrating is being 13% of the population with those crime rates. It's not a wealth problem. Giving these urban black communities a bunch of money will definitely not solve the problem. They will buy a bunch of guns and a bunch of drugs and a bunch of gold chains and big rims. And I'm not saying everyone in these neighborhoods are black. There's plenty of Hispanic and white people in here too, and there's plenty of intelligent black and brown people. Don't get me wrong. But we already know what they're gonna spend that money on. We already know what they're gonna spend that money on. Stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. A lot of the time, they're kind of accurate. And it starts at home. These people just aren't raised right. If you're a black man and you have good parents, then you're probably a good person and you're probably a good man. But if you don't have that, then you're probably not. What do you think of the Iranians are going to spend the money on? I guess we'll never know because they're not getting that money now. And they don't get to spend it on anything. All that money has to be spent directly on investment in the country to make profits for the investors. Because it's going to be private businesses and it's going to be mostly that in other countries as well. If you go to the projects, you will see these hood white people talking and doing crimes like quote unquote black people in the stereotypical situations that is, proving it is a socio-economic subculture that is the problem. Bingo, bingo, dude. That right there is fucking evidence, brother. That is fucking evidence. Evidence, evidence, evidence. I had to screenshot that because that is certified evidence. That is certified evidence. You can literally look at the crime statistics between if these crime statistics even exist. I would love to see them. Crime statistics of a white man raised in a black neighborhood and a white man raised in a trailer park. These people are both from poor areas, the same economic backgrounds. I wonder which one of them came out more violent and went to prison more. The ones from the trailer park or the ones from Martin Luther King Boulevard? I'm just genuinely curious. Which ones came out better? The white boys that grew up on Martin Luther King Boulevard or the white boys that grew up in the suburbs in a gated community? If you say people of color, it sounds like a lot like those terms words reversed. Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? Oh, we got a lot of angry Democrats still in here. It's good to see on this Friday we could have so many angry Democrats. It is what it is, isn't it? White lives do matter, don't they? White lives matter, don't they? All lives matter. How is saying all lives matter racist? Show me one majority black community that's like a role model for society. Just show me one community that's like a role model for society. We got a lot of people coming in here. When I say Democrats, a lot of the time it's just referring to the leftist. It's just referring to the radical leftists. BLM is a violent organization that created even more crime and despair for their own kind. I agree. Yeah, well, Trump wasn't a leftist. When black people get money, some of the first thing they do is move out of the hood. That is 100% true. BLM bought themselves mansions. Of course, it doesn't stand for Black Lives Matter. BLM stands for Buy Large Mansions. What else could you expect? I don't think it's a poor thing or a. I don't think it's a poor thing though. I mean, is there a let's see, is there any statistics on poor white neighborhoods versus poor black neighborhoods? Let's see. Crime stats, poor black, let's see, poor black neighborhoods versus white ones. Let's take a look if there's anything we can find. Let's see if there's anything we can find. Let's see. According to a comprehensive Bureau of Journal of Justice Statistics report on household poverty and violence, the non-fatal violent victimization rate was 46 per 1,000 poor white individuals and 43 per 1,000 black individuals. What does that mean? That means white neighborhoods are actually more violent than black ones? Is that what you're trying to tell me? That actually might be the case, and specifically, but I want to know why the black population commits so much more homicide. I will concede the fact that white men commit way more drug crimes. I will concede the fact that the white man makes way more drug crimes, and we have way more drug arrests per capita. But I will not concede the fact that the black man has way more violent criminal activity and arrests. No, that's not non-Hispanic whites. That's not what it says. And if you're gonna spam bullshit, then I'm gonna time you out. Black Lives Matter, the LLC, and Black Lives the movement are directly correlated. Directly correlated. All of my Trump merchandise was mostly gifts. I've bought and given a lot of Trump merchandise away to people. No, white people built my cities, sir. Even though black people have the highest exonerations, they still do the majority of homicides in our country per capita. That's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy, isn't it? That's the statistics I literally just read. That's literally the statistics I just read. Somehow black people still have a higher per capita rate. We've already been over this. Spamming will not be tolerated. Spamming will not be tolerated, y'all. Period. But let's get up there to 150 likes. 150 likes, guys. Listen, if y'all got any real questions or comments for the last couple minutes of the stream, you can drop some super chats. And then I'll be back. And then we'll respond to some of them, I mean, when you send them. We didn't enslave anyone. Y'all enslaved the black people. We're the ones that bought them. I'll be honest with you. We did wrong. Slavery was wrong, but we've already accepted it's wrong. So why can't we move on? Why can't we move on? There's way more white people in America. I'm talking about per capita statistics on homicides. 13% of the population, the black Americans, commit over 57% of the homicides. Go ahead and Google search that for me. That's not bullshit. That's 100% factual, directly from the FBI. No, slavery is not the root of why they struggle. The Japanese were literally in internment camps. The Japanese were also enslaved in America, and they were enslaved more recently than the blacks. They were in internment camps. You don't see any Japanese people complaining. You don't see any Japanese people saying the reason that they're poor and broke is because of the white man. No, they shut the fuck up and they get to work and they become wealthy and they become millionaires. That's the fucking difference. Look at the Jews. You can look at anyone else. No one else complains about it. There is no systematic racism in America. Redlining stopped existing 60 or 70 years ago. There's no reason a black man today in America can't build wealth. What systematic racism is in America? Give me an example of one. Give me an example of some systematic racism. Give me an example of just one. Nothing? No examples? Black on black crime shows that they hate each other, and that is that is the largest statistic. Yeah, black on black crime is the largest statistic. It's way larger than white on white crime or Hispanic on Hispanic crime. And more, it's like yelling into a cave. Yeah, I understand, bro. It's absolutely like yelling into a cave. But someone has to do the preaching, right? The murder rate in low income would come down significantly if the black on black murders would be reduced by the same leftist Democrats that create these communities, then blame everyone but themselves. Okay, I'm agreeing with you on that 100%. But can we get to 150 likes? Where's your southern accent from? I really didn't think I had a southern accent. Texas, Alabama, Georgia? No, it's from Florida. That's the first time in my life someone's ever told me I had a southern accent. Why don't you like Trump? That would be way easier for me to answer than why I like Trump. Crime would also go down if local government would hold people more accountable instead of letting them out again and again and again for these same vile, disgusting crimes. If you're from Israel, then speak Hebrew. Because I really question people in the comment section that say they're from Israel. Huge lag between video and audio. You might have to just speed up your video. You might have to catch up. What are some ideas that you have to move America forward? Lower taxes and bring more incentives for small business? I mean, it's really that simple. Even some countries in Eastern Europe have way lower taxes than America. Euro, man, why is Trump turning against us? Brother, Trump isn't turning against y'all. It seems like Israel's turning against America, if you ask me. Why won't I understand what you guys do in Lebanon? I 100% understand, but why would you take out an entire apartment building to get two terrorists? Why would you unalive 100 people? And I'm not saying this is true or not, but this is what I'm hearing from President Trump that you guys are over there in Israel are willing to take out a whole building in Lebanon, a whole apartment building, just to take out like two terrorists. Do you guys want us to do the peace deal or not? What is Israel trying to achieve from this war with Iran exactly? If they don't have any objectives in mind, then why do we need to then why do we need to keep attacking them? If Israel doesn't have any objectives with Iran, why does Israel want us to keep attacking them? What does Israel want? Regime change? I don't believe Israel wants to expand their borders. I believe they're doing the attack back for retaliation. They're doing it. The real reason they're doing it is because they're trying to retaliate against Hezbollah. And I'm not saying it's unjustified. I understand why they're doing it. It's justified, but it's like at the end of the day, I mean, how are we ever going to make a peace deal? Israel is kind of making it difficult for America to make a peace deal. Yeah. But I still stand with Israel, but we're not going to agree on everything at the end of the day. We're going to have disagreements. We're going to have disagreements. Zionism does not mean expanding their borders. I'm still a Zionist myself. Obama is a classless clown. His Leering Center looks like it should be condemned. No, Israel is not the only one claiming that Hezbollah is funded by Iran. Why is Iran trying to protect Hezbollah so much if they're not funding them? I mean, I'm just genuinely wondering. Here's what Gorb says in chat. Let's get the facts straight here. It's Netanyahu saying it's Israel that's at fault. Is combing its people, which is wrong. Well, I'm not saying well that is wrong, but at the same time, it's hard. Man, we had a shared goal when we started this. The reason Trump is backing away now is because the economy fear. But this way we surrender to the regime, which show them they can bully the world and it works. Brother, I'm just gonna have to disagree with you. I mean, obviously, according to Trump, we're not signing the deal today. I'm sure you keep up with the news in Israel, but today we're not signing the deal. But I don't think if we do negotiate a deal with Iran, I made a whole video about the $300 billion. It's honestly really good, but it's not going to work out. I've already stated that I don't think it's going to work out. But if American companies could invest in building American businesses in Iran, which was part of Trump's deal with Iran, that'd be fantastic. That would be beneficial. But I don't think they should be able to bully Israel. I don't think they should be able to bully our embassies. And I don't think we went hard enough on them. I do disagree with Trump on that. We should have gone harder on Iran, but it doesn't mean that we can just continuously do this war. We have elections in America. We have our economy. Our inflation spiked a little bit. We want to keep inflation low in America. You guys don't have a debt problem like we have it in America. And why was Israel trying to unalive the Pakistani negotiator? Okay, so here's the story I heard. I heard that Israel was trying to take out the people in Iran that we were negotiating with, that Trump was negotiating with the Iranian leaders. Israel was trying to unalive them. But then Pakistan told America that Israel was plotting to unalive Iranian politicians, and America stepped in and said, no, 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 no. You can't unalive the people that we're making a deal with. And then Israel apparently was plotting the assassination attempt of the Pakistani negotiator. And America also intervened on that. And America said, no, you're not going to unalive any of the people that we are negotiating with as far as making peace deals. But I'm not 100% sure if this is true or not, so you can fact check everything. And I'll check for myself as well. Well, that's what I heard. And it sounds pretty accurate. Don't you love these people that say American is finished, yet that always gets disproven days later yet? Huh? Funny, huh? Yeah, it is funny. It's very funny. Trump lied to Iranian people. He promised us a regime change, but nothing happened. That's why Iranian people and Israel are angry at Trump. Well, we can't do everything for you. You just want us to put our troops on the ground for 20 years? Is that what the Iranian people want? Is that what the government wants of Israel? What does Israel and the Iranian people really want us to do? I already know what they really want us to do. I've talked with them. They want America to put boots on the ground. And I don't think that's necessary. And I don't think it's good to keep the strait closed. What's up, Ice? How you doing, brother? I'm making really valid points, brother. I mean, the funny thing is the quote unquote America First people should be deriding Trump now that he's having, small issues with Israel. This guy says we don't want boots on the ground. Then what do you want from America? Do you want us just to keep the strait closed forever so gas prices keep going? I mean, how high are gas prices in Israel? Listen, I think gas prices are a lot lower than they were under Joe Biden. Gas prices aren't too bad, but do you really care about the American economy? I mean, what does the Israeli people and the Israeli government really want us to do? That's my question. All right, I already can see this guy's gonna spam. No, spamming is not tolerated, brother. I said I believe I would justify boots on the ground. But now that I see that our economy is questionable, like I don't want to end the year with liberals saying, "Oh, inflation was 4%. It was 4%." Either Trump has to implement other economic policies, like he has to bring more oil and gas into around the world, or he has to end this conflict soon. Or if he does put boots on the ground, I would be okay with it if it was an in and out mission. In and out. That's what I would prefer. If we're going to be in this conflict prolonged, I think we hit hard. I mean, if we have no other choice but to be in this war, then we might as well, if Iran won't make peace with America, we might as well put boots on the ground if they won't even make peace with us at all. But we should be in and out quickly. We shouldn't be staying there for a long time. Crazy, the double standard. The Dems love the record high gas prices for 4 years. Under Biden, now all of a sudden it's a problem. Gas has been around $4 a gallon for 4 years straight in New York. Yeah, no kidding, brother. I mean, gas is under $4 in Florida. There's always going to be casualties of war. That's why they call them casualties of war. Just wait in time, everything is fine. But arguing with the same people that are addicted to yelling, gotta get some of the fresh air. Yeah. Yep. Here's what the Israeli man says. He says, "Of course, we want the best for America, but we started something together. We had a goal. Now we have a challenge. We cower, and America is the strongest country in the world." No, I agree, but it doesn't mean that we should do something just because y'all want us to do it. Why do we have to operate uh, together? Why can't y'all finish the mission? If y'all got a mission with Iran, why can't y'all finish it, huh? I thought Israel was supposed to be one of the strongest country in the Middle East or something. Or Israel was supposed to be very powerful and strong. Why can't y'all step in a little bit more? We can, we want, okay, then I hope so. I guess we have no choice now because Israel pretty much said, I mean, exactly what you're saying. We came in there with a mission, and now we have to finish it. So I guess we have no other choice. Israel is strong. I think they can do it themselves too. I don't think Israel has dirt on U.S. congressmen. Our FBI and our CIA probably has dirt on U.S. congressmen. What did I flip flop on? Can you name something I flip flopped on? I've stayed pretty consistent. I'm okay with pulling out in Iran now. But if you guys want to go back in there, if we're forced to stay there, then we should have boots on the ground. Gavin Newsom probably isn't even going to run in 2028. The FBI director controls the FBI. Yeah, a lot of Americans are just saying Israel just needs to handle it themselves. Y'all probably would continue to attack Israel regardless and Hezbollah regardless, so there's no really choice here. We have to go through all this stuff together. But do we have any final questions, super chats, anything y'all want to talk about? You guys can drop some comments, some questions down below. If not, I'm probably going to head off here. But we'll be back when we have a debate or something going on. Man, join our Discord if you live in Iran during the war, man. I'd love to have you on here. It just doesn't look good. We had a goal. We promised the Iranians they'd be free, and now we back up because we got bullied. That's not a valid reason. I mean, how should the war end then? How should the war end? I appreciate you, man. If you like the content, you like the channel, please like and subscribe. That means a lot to me. God bless. Amen. Well, I guess, I don't, Trump did say he's going to try to make a regime change. I can't agree. I can't agree on that. But it is gonna benefit more of Americans if we pull out now in 2026. But I do agree that the Iranian people should be freed, and we should do what we can to free them fundamentally. But if we do pull out of this war or this conflict or war, whatever you want to call it now, there is economic effects that are beneficial for America. 100% in the short term, at least. Maybe there might be long term problems. Who knows? But we'd still be dealing with Iran. But who knows? As long as we try to understand each other, man. God bless. Happy Friday. All right, guys. Like, subscribe, share. Any final questions, super chats, questions, comments? I'll give you guys about 30 more seconds if you have anything else you want to talk about. Look, the IRGC will screw up. They always do when you tempt the thunder, lightning always follows. Lightning always follows, huh? So yeah, this war is not going to be over. This is going to be like, it's still going to be a conflict until we get the IRGC out. We're just trying to slow things down, more or less, I guess. Is really the only thing you can say. All right, though, guys. I appreciate it. We'll be coming back on stream probably around 6:30. Join that Discord link right there. Happy Friday, everybody. God bless. God bless America, Israel, and hopefully, free the Iranian people. But I'll be back around 6:30. We'll have a guest hopefully coming on stream, everybody. God bless everyone. Have a great Friday. Have a great afternoon and an evening. Hopefully I get to see a few of you guys a little bit later. See you guys. We're all nation.